This
talking about
conference will now be recorded.
date type. We are talking about which type? Date type. So date type is used to give the date into the form. Used to give the date into the form. So how can we give that, sir? Okay. So let me. I think I closed it. Let me open a new text file. Uh, okay. Otherwise, I'll open the text. Open the HTML which is already there. So we have the HTML UI 12 known. So demo. So open with Visual Studio. Okay, open with the Visual Studio. Right. So this was the thing in the last session we talked about. So now what I want to do? So I want to have a date. Let's say date of joining something. Okay. So date of joining. So what I'll do is I'll say input type is equal to date. Input type is equal to, so what I will put here, I will put date. Okay, so date is okay. Date time means time also will be included, but not required now. So we'll just have date. Type is equal to date. Name is equal to something like dt. No need to give any value, right? Okay. So simply when you put this, what will happen? So it will be okay. So let me run this from here only. So open with something like Chrome. Okay. So open with the Chrome. So let me keep it aside. Now what you got here ultimately, you got right date. So what you got here? You got the date selector. So you got what? You got the date selector. Yes. Did you get the date selector or not? So in which format it will take the date? DDMMYY. DDMMYY. So for now we will not change any format. So let us be as it is. Okay. Right. So DDMMYY. So you can select the date like this. Right. Yes. Now, for example, I want to select 16. So, what is selected here? Date is selected. So, how the date is selected? You understood? What type I gave? What type I gave? I gave the type date. Okay, I gave the type date. So, whenever I give the type as date, so in this way you are going to take it. Okay, so in this way you are going to take it. So, whenever you are talking about the type, so this is the way that you need to take the date. Okay. Now, when I am talking about this date, okay, so I also will deal with something like maximum and minimum. Okay, so maximum and minimum. So what is this maximum and minimum? We'll come to know. Max attributes. So max attribute. So max is not type. Max is an attribute, and min attribute. Max attribute and min attribute. So what does a max attribute tell you? So this will make us give the input, give the input up to the specific value or up to the specified value, up to the specified value. So what it will do, it will give the input up to this particular specific value. Okay, and minimum means minimum value. Minimum means this will give starting from that value. So this will give starting from that that value. So give, make us give from, okay. So give the input from the specified values, from the specified values, max and min. Suppose for example, if I'm talking about max means maximum range, minimum range, so like that. Okay, so what we will do is we'll apply this on the date itself. Okay, so on the date itself we'll apply, we will say minimum date, minimum date is equal to, so I will have to take in this format. So suppose for example I want minimum date to be 2023 0101. Okay, so 2023 01 01, and max going to be 2023. Okay, and something like 12 and 31. So what I'm talking about here, I'm only selecting 1 year. I'm only selecting 1 year. Okay, what I'm selecting only 1 year. Why, sir, you are saying 1 year? Because minimum is what? Minimum is 2023 01 01. Maximum is what? 2023 12 31. Okay, so that is what I selected. So save this. Now, okay, one second. Hmm, okay, so here, okay, format we should check out 0101. So generally this will get disabled. Okay, one second. Minimum. So 25. This should be deselected. Only up to this date should come. Format. Hmm. Refresh చేయలేదా? Okay. Okay. So I think previous one only is right. So save this. Refresh this. Okay. So uh, what you can't see? You can't see 2022. I cannot select. 2019. I cannot select. Okay. Why? Because minimum is what? Minimum is 2023 January to December. If you observe here also, it is 2023 only. It is 2023. So because we selected from where? So you can select from minimum January 1st to, okay, so minimum January 1st to, suppose if you want to deselect that also, like say for example, I want to give from 19th, okay, so I'm giving from 19th, okay, so let me just refresh it back again. Now, so 2023 January, see here, 19th, activated from where? Activated from 19th. Why sir activated from 19th? Because we, what we said here, from 2023 01/19 is the minimum date. Is the minimum date. What is the maximum date? Maximum date is going to be December 31st. No, sir, that also you just make it like say before Christmas. Okay. So save this. So now refresh this. Okay. So now what happens? See, 25th to 6th disabled, no? Getting my point? Yes or no? So, and what about the other years? 2019 disabled, 2020 disabled, 2021 disabled, 2022 disabled, 2023 activated, but from where? From 19. Hope you are understanding my point. So this is how we generally have the minimum date and the maximum date. So minimum date and the maximum date. Understanding my point? So activated from where? Activated from January 19th. Activated from January 19th to where? Activated from January 19th to where? So 19th to December 24. Okay, so that also we will try to select so that you people will get the idea. So 2023 December 24. Okay, so I cannot select anything other than up to 24. Hope it is clear. Yes or no? Okay. So that is how we are dealing with the date with the minimum value and the maximum value. So in job interviews and all, this will be the thing, no? Yes or no? Okay. So this is what is date for you. Okay. Then we will talk about uh, file. If you are writing, you can quickly write it. You're right. If you are writing. Okay. Right. Next, we will talk about file. Okay. So what we'll talk about file. So this enable the user to upload a file. To upload a file. Okay. Upload a file. So what this will enable file type? It will enable the user to enable a or sorry upload a file. So we can make the user to upload a file. So how it is developed, sir? Okay. Now for example, something like resume. Okay. So something like resume. So we will say input type is equal to file. So here minimum maximum will not be applicable. So will not be applicable. So input type is equal to file. Say resume. Okay. So now what I got? So what I got here? So I got choose a file option. How, sir? How you got choose a file option? Because we gave type is equal to file. So choose a file. You click on choose a file. So it will ask you to choose any file. So for example, if I am just going for this, so it will be automatically uploaded. Okay, so it is automatically uploaded. Yes, conditional rendering dot pdf, right? Is that clear? And once you say submit, that value will go into the server. That you already know. So this file will go into the server or go to the server. Is that clear? Yes. Okay. So sometimes you may require to upload multiple files. Okay. So multiple files. So for example, certificates. So certificate. So certificates means same I will say input type is equal to file name is equal to certificates and I will say multiple. What option I'll use here? Multiple. So what does multiple tell you? Multiple will tell you that you can upload. See what is the difference? Choose file, choose files. Means you can upload multiple files. You can upload multiple files. See how many files? Names and all will not be given. Okay, so three files. Here you can choose only one file. Right? Understanding my point? So what is multiple telling you? Multiple is telling you that you can add multiple files. You can add multiple files. So what you can do? You can add multiple files. Is this clear? Yes. Okay. So multiple attributes. So multiple attributes. So multiple attribute allows us to have okay uh, one or more than one or more than one file upload. One or more than one file upload. Getting my point? Yes. What is this attribute? Multiple attribute. Is this clear? Yes. So if you want to choose a file, you can go for this multiple file. Okay. Right. So then, okay. Then we will talk about uh, select option. Select option. Okay. So select option type. So what is a select option type? So this form element will provide a drop down list. What it will provide? A drop down list. So this form element will provide which list? A drop down list. Okay, a drop down list from which we can select one or more options. One or more options. So through which we can select one or more options basically. Okay. So what does this do? Select option. Select option will enable us to select one or more options from a drop down list. From a drop down list. Okay. So what we need to do here is we need to go for something like uh, state. Okay, so just I'll write state, something like state, country, and all that. Okay, so select, and you have the options inside. Okay, so option. Okay, so option one, option two, option three, and all you will be having. Okay, first, for example, I'll write AP. Okay, so I'll write Telangana. Okay, so I will write UP. Okay, otherwise I'll write TG. Okay, Telangana. So UP, MP. Okay. Hmm. TN. Okay. Any more? DJ. Okay. Okay. Fine. So now just run this. Now what you are getting? You are getting the options. Okay. This is what is the drop down list. This is what is the drop down list. So how many you are able to select? You are able to select only one. Okay. So you can select more also. How, I'll tell you. Okay. You can also tell me. How? Just guess. Multiple. That's it. So you can select multiple. You can select multiple. So even more stylings we can do in CSS. So select more stylings we can do. Right. So if we have multiple attributes allow us to have, okay, so multiple attribute will allow us to select, rather, to select multiple options, to select multiple options, right? So simply what I can say here, I can say select select multiple. Okay, so select multiple. So you can select everything also, and you can select. Okay, so by default, how many came? By default, four came. Four came. By default, you got four. So you can select multiple from it. You can select multiple. Understanding my point? So where I have used it? We have used here. Select a multiple. Am I clear? Okay. So this is how you can select the multiple options. You can select the multiple options. Is that clear? Okay. Then we will talk about uh, now choose file. Okay, so here you got choose file. Okay, so choose files and submit, reset. So actually these are buttons. So these are buttons which are created automatically. But now I want to create a button. I want to create a button. So in order to create a button, we can use button tag. We can use button tag. Okay. So button tag you can use, button type also you can use. Okay. So button type. So first we'll go for button type, then we'll go for button tag also. Okay. So button type. The difference you will not know now. So when we come to JavaScript, you will know the difference. Okay, so button type. This make us, or this will create a button in the form. This will create a button in the form. Okay. So how I'm going to create, sir? I'm going to create a button. So let's take away all these things. So what I can say, sir, input type is equal to button. Input type is equal to button. Okay. So value is equal to my button. So value is equal to my button. Okay. So what will happen now? Automatically button is created. So button with what name? My button. My button. Got it? Yes. What is the name created for that button? My button. The no name is not important here. So button you are clicking. Yes, value is important. Value is important. Getting my point? Yes. Okay. So value is equal to my button, right? Okay. Now, for example, if I give name is equal to something like BTN. Okay. So name is equal to something like BTN, right? So now run this. Now BTN is coming? No, right? What is coming? Value is coming. Value is important. So this is button type. Button type. Okay. So I created a button over here. So you also have button tag. Button tag. It is used for creating a button. Creating a button. It is used for creating a button. So how we will create a button? By using, so now you have button. Okay. Your button. Simply your button. So now save this. What is created? Your button is created. Yes. Now you understood the difference. My button, it is going nowhere. Your button, it is doing some action. It is doing some action. That's the difference. That's the difference between using this button and using input type button. So that button will automatically do some action. Here no action is assigned to that button. Okay. Or else I can say button. Okay, I'll just give you on click. On click is equal to, okay, on click is equal to you do some action. You do some action. Okay. So you do some action. So now for example, I will say http, yes, www dot google.com. Okay. So simply I'm giving something button on click. Okay. So it is still going there. So we have to write some function. We have to write some function and everything here and put it over here. Okay. So that is where it will do some action. So now for now you just leave it. Okay. Is that clear? Yes or no? So button on click is equal to some action. Okay. Some action. right? Is that clear? So don't think that we can do anything with the button. So we have to give it some event. We have to give it some event. So we'll not add this and get us let us confuse ourselves. So we'll say button close, button tag. No, this is button tag, opening tag and the closing tag. So inside that you have the name of the button. Inside that you have the name of the button. Is that clear? Actions and all we will do it later. Yes, understood the things. So these are the minimum things which are required. Okay, so these are the minimum things which are required for a full stack developer. Okay, for a full stack developer, minimum things which are required. Okay, so the file, the date, email. Okay, text. Okay, one more thing, text. Text area. Text area is also required. Text area. Okay, so text area. What this text area will tell me, so this text area will tell me that, so creates a text area. So generally you use it for comments and all that, no? So creates a text area specific with specific rows and columns. Specific rows and columns. Okay, so creates a text area with specific rows and columns. Okay, so rows and columns. So rows and columns. Okay, space you will get. Okay, so how you are going to get that? Now for example I'll say something like comments. So comments, we can go for text area. So text area. Okay, and we can have rows is equal to 100. Okay, columns columns is equal to something like 300, right? So don't write anything inside this, no need. What you got? You got the text area. Okay, so it is filling up. So I'll make it a little bit less because we are in zoom mode, no? So and I'll give a break here. Okay, save this. Now you got comments. So styling and all we will do it later. Okay, so comments. So here is where you type something, right? So this is text area for you. How many rows? 10 rows and 30 columns. So 10 rows and 30 columns. Okay, so in this way you can have the which area? Text area. Okay. I was talking about the box model, you remember? Okay, so this is box model. Okay, so again we will discuss that box model when you talk about CSS. Okay, so these are all the important things which we will be trying to talk about as far as full stack development is concerned. Okay, so full stack development is concerned. Okay, fine. Okay, so now we will talk about CSS. So CSS stands for what? Cascading Style Sheets. So CSS stands for what? Cascading Style Sheet. So whenever I am talking about CSS, I am going to talk about styling the page. Styling the page. So HTML will give you only the basic structure. HTML only will give you the basic structure. Okay. So HTML, as it gave you the basic structure. So what we need to do is we need to style. We need to style.
Sir, how many days for CSS, sir?
CSS maximum five to 6 days.
Sir, it is same like as HTML only, sir.
No, no, no. It is
In
entirely different.
HTML, we are implementing styles, no, sir?
HTML for HTML elements, we'll implement styles.
Okay, okay, sir.
So here you will be having something like codes and all those things. You need to create different files. Okay. Okay. So it is not like HTML. It is a little bit different. Okay. So cascading style sheets. It is used for styling the web pages. Is used for what? Is it for styling the web pages using any of the three ways. Any of the three ways. So first one, inline CSS, internal CSS, and external CSS. Okay, so inline CSS, internal CSS, and external CSS. Okay, so inline CSS. So CSS 3 is the latest version. Okay, so you can uh, just make mention that point. The present version is HTML present version is HTML5. CSS is 3. Okay. The present version is CSS 3. Okay, inline CSS. If we apply the style on the same line as of the HTML element, as of the HTML element, we call it as inline CSS. We call it as inline CSS. If we are making the same line, okay, syntax. So the syntax is HTML element, okay, space style is equal to, what is that? Style is equal to, you can give, okay, property one, okay, property one, value one. What is property and all I'll tell you. Okay, so like this, you can give any number of properties. You can give any number of properties and values, right? So you can give any number of properties and values. So property n, value n. Is this clear? So and you can write the content and you can say close of HTML elements, right? So this is inline. Inline means on the same line. On the same line. So on the same line, you are making a style. You are making a style. So now coming to the property and value. So what are these properties and values? Now, for example, I want to color a text. I want to color a text under the H1. I want to color a text under the H1. Yes. So what I'll use? Okay, example, color some color the text under the H1 tag. Okay, so H1 tag. The H1 tag. Color the text under the which tag? Under the H1 tag. Under the H1 tag. So what I will do, who is HTML element here? H1. I will say style is equal to. So now what is the property? Color property. What is the property? Color property. So color value. Now for example, I want to apply red color. Yes. and this is something like you see h1 close. So simply what I've done here, I have applied. Okay, now form you can keep it aside. Right. So now what will happen? You got it in red color or not? How? You said h1 followed by style attribute. Style attribute is a CSS attribute. CSS attribute applied onto HTML element. Applied onto HTML element. So style is equal to color red. Color red. Now for example, hope everyone is understanding, right? Okay. Now, now for example, I want six headers with different styles or different colors. Okay, so I want separate color. So this H1, 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 and H1. Okay, so I want some color. I can select from here. So this is called color palette. What is this called? Color palette. So you can select from here. So it is not that you will have only blue color or anything. So you can have any color. Now, for example, I'm selecting this color. So what I got there? I got RGB. What is this RGB? Red, green, and blue. All the colors in the world will be the combination of RGB. So here 0 means the least. 0 means the least. 255 means the highest. Right? So all the color ranges will be from 0 to 255 only. 0 means absence of that color. Absence of that color. So 0 means absence of which color? 0 means absence of red color. Green, highest green. Highest green means 255 means highest green. So 255, highest green. 234, not completely highest, but literally near to highest. So it's a combination of which color? Green and blue. Who's missing? Red is missing. Who is missing? Red is missing. Okay. Now at the same time, you can have, okay, so other color things are there, but I want to give it a simple one. Okay, so other things when time comes I'll tell you. Now for example, I want a color. Okay, so I want a color of red texture. Okay, so I want a color of red texture. So go to the red. Okay, so what is red? Full red, something green, and zero blue. What is that? RGB 255 okay. Okay, I'll copy this further down. So here it was 0 now. 0, 255, and 234. Right, save this and run this. So what happened now? First one red, second one blue, third one RGB. RGB 255, 179, and 0. 255 means complete red. 179 means green is there. Green is there. Okay. Who is absent? Who is absent? Blue is absent. So like that you can put different colors also, right? So there are some predefined colors. Predefined colors means, so suppose if you are saying color, so it will give you all the predefined colors. These are all the predefined colors. Okay. So if you don't want to use them, you can. So many colors are there. So many colors. You can see the color type also. Yes, so many colors are there. So from all these colors, you can select. You can select. Is my point clear? Yes or no? So we use these things. So that is why they came here. Okay. So you can choose any color. You can choose any color. So now which color? Powder blue. Okay. So powder blue. This is how you can. So this is one style. What is that style? Inline CSS. What is that style? Inline CSS. Is this clear? Okay. Now we will talk about internal CSS. What is the second point? Internal CSS. So internal CSS means what, sir? Internal CSS means the CSS styling defined under the head tag with the a header tag with a style tag. Okay, under the header tag with a which tag? Style tag. Okay, with a style tag. Okay, syntax. So what is the syntax, sir? So under head, okay, under head, under head you can have style. Okay, so style. So under the style, so under the style, you can specify the style. Now, for example, for H1, okay, so H1, I want to add the same thing. I want to add the color. So, okay, otherwise I write syntax, no? HTML element, HTML element, or we can also call it as CSS selector. What is this also called as? CSS selector. We also call it as what? CSS selector. Understanding my point? Okay. Under this, you will keep the style property, property one, value one. Okay. Like this, you can put any number of properties. Like this, you can put any number of properties. So value 2, property 2, and go on. And go on. So you can go on having all the properties. Okay. So here you can say property n, value n. Done. Am I clear? Yes. So in this way you can have the syntax. Okay. Now let us put the example directly and then come to it. Now where I need to put under the head, no, under that already title is there. No problem. I can put style. Okay. And under that style, what I can keep? I can keep something like h1. Okay. And I will say color is equal to same thing, powder, right? And I can delete this. So all are h1. All are h1. So for everything, the same style is right. Save this. Okay. spaces should not be. Powder blue is coming. Okay. Why it is not applying? H1 color red, style open, style close, overall one color red. Why it is not applying? One second. Why it is not applying? Color is equal to red, style H1. Anything wrong I'm doing? H1 color is red, style okay. Yeah. So these are copy paste problems. Okay, color is red. Color is red. So understood now? So this is the way that we will have the which ones? Internal and inline. Internal and inline. So we are using only color for our understanding. So in our next session we will have more, and we'll also need to talk about the external CSS. For external CSS, you need to create a CSS file and all. It's a new thing. So we will see it later. Background ఏదైనా చేయొచ్చు ఏదైనా ఎనీథింగ్ body bg color. So generally without css also you can say body bg color is equal to, you can say without css also you can say, with css only it's better. Okay, so that's it. So we'll meet tomorrow with much more information. Okay, so only the problem was the double quote was there, so that was the problem. Okay.